In today's video, we're going to make fun of Tommy Tallarico, and we're also going to debunk another one of his lies. I also have a small update on the Amico itself, but we'll keep that at the end of the video because it's not as fun as the other stuff I wanted to show beforehand. So over the last little while, a week or two, on the Intellivision _Amico subreddit, people have noticed that Tommy really likes wearing the same shirt everywhere he goes. And Wally Carew says, being that obsessed with one item of clothing is one thing, it's another thing completely when it looks like something your grandmother made from her old curtains. Revolutionary Peak 98 says, I was thinking the same thing. Seriously, that shirt could have its own thread. That got me thinking, who in their right mind would create a thread or make a video, a collage, of Tommy wearing the same one or two blue shirts everywhere he goes? And on that note, enjoy. How did you guys like that video? I thought that was pretty funny. And what's crazy was I got all those pictures of him in that shirt just off his Facebook account. So we can only imagine how many more pictures of him wearing that shirt there is out there. An interesting thing I saw while perusing is he uploaded 2 videos from the Bird's Nest concert in Beijing, China. And what it says on the screen here, here's a small taste of what accomplished tonight at the Bird's Nest, Beijing, China. Someone told me that there were 35,000 plus people in the audience. They say our second show tomorrow will be even bigger. Legit! In capitals. And this is the concert that he claims to have the world record, the Guinness record. Wherein, I'll play a clip of it shortly, where he says there's over 100,000 people in attendance and 700,000 people outside.
The famous Bird's Nest National Olympic Stadium, we played there, 130,000 people inside, 600,000 people outside.
And he has clips from both shows. And on the first show, as you can see the video here, I'll play the video. When the lights, like when the strobe, and you can see in the audience, there's a ton of empty seats. And I'll freeze at a certain, I have a screenshot here which is a good one, where you can clearly see that I would say 30-40% of the lower bowl is full, not even. There's tons of empty seats. There's no way there's 35,000, or this is the first day show, so this is not the record show he's claiming, but that is a very empty stadium. And it's kind of weird that he would go on a few years later and just brag about having 100,000 people and tons of people when he himself uploaded evidence that there is not. So when they have the second show, unfortunately it's a weird angle, so you can't see the whole stadium, but you can see the prime seats, and I'll freeze it later on or put a screenshot. You can clearly see a large amount of empty seats again. So I'll put up a video of a real concert having 100,000 people. When you have a concert that's that busy, it is jam-packed. There's nowhere to move because it's so many people. Clearly this did not have 100,000 people. I think, and I'll put the link to the Goose video which debunks it all. I think they said that only 2,000-3,000 people were actually in attendance. I believe that instead. So this is yet another lie, that just another photo or photographic evidence that Tommy likes to exaggerate, that every show he has is sold out. Like if you go on the Video Games Live webpage, it shows every show is sold out. That first video, clearly not sold out. So, I don't know. It's a bunch of weird stuff. So you guys are probably wondering why on the thumbnail of this video, there's a giant picture of Joe Rogan. And this is why. On the Discord today, somebody had posted this hilarious tweet from Fastback OG NLG. And NLG is the Next Level Gaming. It's a group that Mike Mullis, I'm not sure if he's in charge of or a part of. And this guy says, at Joe Rogan, hey Joe, were you ever interested in the Intellivision as a kid? My buddies and I on the OG NLG or NL Gaming have become good friends with Intellivision, and Mullis has been testing the Amico. If interested, check out his unboxing video. And there's a link to Mike Mullis. I'm guessing it's his kid with him, opening up the Intellivision Amico box that they received a few weeks back. And I thought this was absolutely hilarious. Like, this would be funny for satire or someone making fun of it. But I'm believing this is just like a desperate effort or attempt just to get some type of traction or something with Intellivision, some type of lifeline. I remember in the past, Tommy had messaged or sent a thing to Elon Musk. But this, I don't even know what to say. First of all, it's Joe Rogan, so that's hilarious that out of every single person that you're going to tweet, every celebrity, this is a family-friendly console that they're trying to pitch, you pick Joe Rogan. A controversial figure. Not really, I don't think anything about Joe Rogan associates him with being family-friendly. It's just, it's funny, but it's also sad in the same way. Like, this reeks of desperation and just, I don't know, just, this is just sad. I don't know what else to say. What do you guys think about that? Like, you think they could have maybe attempted, I don't know, someone else? Gwyneth Paltrow or someone? Somebody at all? Anybody that's related to soccer moms or something? I don't know. I just thought I'd share this because it's absolutely hilarious, and I thought you guys would get a good laugh. So for the final part of the video, I just want to go over just briefly the latest from Intellivision themselves. And we've seen a couple people have already uploaded videos, and I will recommend everyone check out the No Swear Gamers video on this. I'll put a link in the description of the YouTube video. But basically what had happened is a friend of the show, Gen X Gamer, had said, "We don't even deserve a Merry Christmas email. Seriously, not the supporters, the people with deposits, the people with back orders, not even a promised update from Phil. We are very disappointed." So a few weeks later, Phil Adam responded back. He said, "Just got back from burying my mom, who passed the week before Christmas. I hope to update the public, but tests of final hardware have gone well. Once we have a production solution, I will make an announcement that I'm working on." And that alone is just hilarious. They still need to find a production solution this many years in, and I recommend watching the No Swear Gamer because he breaks down the timelines of all the different times they've made the promise of, well, we just need to find the solution. But just looking at that itself, it made me feel like I should go back to the Republic comment section to see if there's been any news updates. And the funny part is the investors, the people who actually put money down, they're left in the dark. There has been like no updates at all for them. I'd be quite upset if I were them. So I looked at the comment section, and there's a few recent comments, and I'll read those out for you because it gets quite weird. So Prasad Obidi, hopefully I said that right, says, "Oh God, I invested 6,000 hard-earned money. How to get back this money? Anyone, please advise." And then he has the praying emoji. And we get comments from John Corrigan, and previously I said must be Tommy because the guy had left really weird, unhinged comments. So it's somewhat insane. So it either is going to be Tommy, maybe it's Relic Gamer, maybe I can't think of anyone else who's this crazy. Like this is a whole other level of crazy. Like there's kind of crazy, and there's kind of like Turbo Joe is kind of like off, but then there's super crazy, and that's like Relic Gamer or Tommy himself. But either way, John responds to this guy who invested $6,000 saying, "You have good instincts. The way religion works is if you keep praying for something and you get it, that's proof that your deity is working for you. When it doesn't, that's because the deity has a reason only it knows. Either way, God is doing what's best for you. Can you pray that Luke Hughes gets smited? Not smiled. Can you pray that Luke Hughes gets smited? Regards." What kind of unhinged comment is that? Very, very bizarre. And Luke had said, "Mr. Corrigan, you being the sole defense of Intellivision Entertainment on this page, considering your conduct is an incredibly bad look for the company. I'm not sure if you're deluded enough to think that you're doing something good for the company, but I imagine Phil Adam wouldn't appreciate it. But on behalf of everyone else, I would request that you please continue. We all love to see just how low you can go." And John had also said, "The distinction may be small to meaningless to you, but I don't know that I defend Intellivision. I completely agree that I respond to some of the more idiotic tactics of you and your Reddit ilk. I noticed that criticisms of my comments about Intellivision rarely ever dispute the reasoning behind my missives, but instead of my lack of tact or dearth of contractions. You suggest that I should refrain from comments lest Phil Adam is put in a negative position. Yet the bulk of your comments on this page are pathetic attempts to get us investors to fear this investment is going to fail. Is this not your perverted goal? Who is everyone else you are speaking for? I divide us into the investors of Fig Gaming shares and interlopers from YouTube and Reddit who have a bug up their ass about Tallarico. On behalf of everyone here, you and the other two non-investing clowns on this page should just piss off. Go back to your echo chamber of people who have a place to do just that. Much as I want to, I didn't defend myself from their idiotic comments. That place is for you. This place is for me. I don't think my conduct is going to affect Intellivision one way or another. Maybe the people who read my responses will see what garbage comes out from the corners of the internet. Perhaps you're right, and they think I am included. At any rate, I'm doing them the service of exposing your anti-Amico people tactics. In fact, I've read on Reddit and heard from Ninja Kitty, hey, that's me, that I am not self-aware. Someone pointed out that I called someone on Start Engine Intellivision, and he tried to spell douchebag in a funny way, and I don't realize the irony. And yet, I wrote at the risk of being censored before. The comment was a legit POS. That was not nearly as ironic as those clever folks think. Your comment was 3 sentences long, and each had a minimum of 2 logical fallacies that I either pointed out or alluded to. Well, that's pretty unhinged for a random person who had apparently invested into this project would say. It seems like this guy is taking it very personal. This is why I assumed it was a Tommy Tallarico or a Relic Gamer, or maybe it's somebody else who writes long comments and defends Amico. I don't know. Maybe do you know? Who do you think this guy is? I think it's crazy though, and what he's doing here is not helping the situation. So on just 16 days ago, Joseph Wood said, "Hello, why don't you offer a refund on investments? You seem full of excuses and runarounds. Do you not have something to hide? Or do you have something to hide? I might not be the only in regret. This seems like an endless game on nowhere." So that's kind of oddly written, but basically this guy has buyer's remorse. And this is, I don't understand about people who have a bit of money. You think that they'd have some type of knowledge in looking into something and the fine print, or just using common sense. It's pretty obvious that once you invested, your money's gone and it's not coming back. Brett Bobek says, "I remember using Atari, Nintendo, PlayStation, and other gaming units growing up. I'm excited about this company. Really hope it brings back that simple style of gaming for the next generation and their families, getting back to the roots of gaming through a home TV that most people already have." Well, Brett's pretty excited still, and he's cheery about this whole situation. So our friend John C. responds, or not responds, 2 months ago had said, and Robert Zelensky has posted 5 times in the last couple of years, all in discussions pertaining to Intellivision. He's the guy I ripped in the original campaign for whining about stock photos being used in the pitch. He wrote that he would be staying away from the Intellivision campaign, and yet here he is still, chirping in an update no less. If you look at their profile using the Republic app, you'll see that Robert Zelensky, Luke Hughes, and Ashley Cooper do not even have an active investor tab, which everyone else in this page has, with one exception. Does that mean that they haven't made a single investment on Republic? Ever? I would expect Ashley Cooper is a troll, so I checked the discussion page and did find the name Cooper, and no one made a comment. Then I checked the reviews and I was able to find someone named Jeremy Cooper who was willing to be marked as having a $1,000 investment. Cooper is a common enough name, so who knows? In any event, he invested because he believed in sponsoring a family-friendly video game that would require setting up content filters. Nothing about a couple of Rockstar employees that I've never heard of before. If the Amico gets the licensing right to hardcore porn games, Ashley will have a great cause for legal action. So much action. All the action she can handle. I hate trolls. I love irony. That guy is pretty weird. He gets really emotionally invested in this. And what he's referring to is, a couple months ago, a user named Ashley Cooper says, "Hello, my husband invested in this product in early 2021 and unfortunately recently passed away. I have been looking into more of the last couple of weeks while sorting his records out and have been shocked at what I have found. The main issue is that it appears that the former CEO, Tommy Tallarico, who started this investment crowdfunding campaign, made several lies and false exaggerated claims during various investment pitches, both external, and on this very page. There are many videos and images online showing proof that certain people he claimed to be working at the company were in fact not employed at the time of the claim. For example, Jay Allard and Kara Acker. This is no speculation. Those people themselves have said that they were not at the company in that period. My husband was led to believe that certain people with good credentials were at the company, making it seem a far more appealing investment opportunity than what it actually was. His money was taken under false pretenses, so this is definite fraud. I do not know who Phil Adam is and what role he played in this at the time, but that does not change the fact that the money was taken dishonestly by Mr. Tallarico. I would like clarification regarding this and for this to be made right as soon as possible. If I do not hear from anybody, I'll be getting in touch with my lawyer to advise me on my next steps. I will also be contacting Jay Allard and Kara Acker if I can find their contact information to see what they can tell me regarding their role in the company and if they knew they were being used in this way. Regards, A. Cooper." And that's crazy. Like, I can see a lot of people in the same boat here because they raised so much money from so many random people. I'm guessing a lot of foolish elderly folks who just dump money because they believed in the hype or the false promises or what they were shown. So this is when people talk like we want to make fun of Intellivision. It's fun and joke around, but these people lost money, and I'm thankfully I didn't lose any money. I would never invest in this, but I could only imagine like if my grandmother or grandfather was duped out of thousands of dollars, I'd be pretty pissed. So I really think that people will be coming after either Intellivision or Tommy. So hopefully his lawyers are are ready to be busy in the next, I don't know, year or two, because I can't imagine everyone just letting this go. So John Corrigan had responded to Ashley Cooper, and what he had said was, "What you found? It looks to me like you didn't find the only thing that matters, the subscription agreement. Does it say that these two people with good credentials were at the company? That's why your husband invested, because those two were part of the project? I never heard about them. I didn't invest because of them. Did anyone else? I've seen many YouTube videos made by lowlives who want content for subscribers. Hey, remember to hit that subscribe button, please. They resort to lies and interpret the most insignificant things as evidence of fraud. Several of them pulled the same crap on the Start Engine website for an Intellivision raise. Hey, I remember making videos about the comment section of Start Engine, and I'm glad I did, because had I not, where could people read those comments now? Even you throw around words like fraud, fact, and false pretenses. Strong words, but expose your ignorance and absurd thought process if you don't use them properly. We all expected this thing to be out by now, but it isn't. Many of us who have been online searching for answers inevitably came across people who point an accusatory finger at Intellivision or Tallarico. It is not surprising that many people will jump on that type of bandwagon. Too often I have seen how they interpret any type of stimulus as proof of fraud. They twist reality to suit their conclusions. Read the subscription agreement. If you find what you consider to be fraud, then file a complaint with FINRA. Sadly, they are not big on sharing the progress of their investigations. I find your suggestion that you will contact the lawyer to be quite dubious. You're going to track down Jay Allard and Kara Akar? Will Julia Roberts play you in the movie when your tireless efforts unravel this shell game? Regards, John Corrigan, or as I'm known on Start Engine and by Ninja Kitty, Tommy Tallarico. I'm not Tommy Tallarico. That was an inside joke. Wow. What a nice thing this guy said about this lady whose husband passed away. It's kind of cold, actually. I don't even know if maybe Tommy would be crazy enough to write something like that, but it is kind of weird that when Tommy's parents, her dad, passed away, and recently Phil Adams' mom passed away, but when Tommy's dad passed away, everyone had to be all kid gloves and nice and friendly, like, oh, you can't say mean things, but this lady's husband passes away, and this John Corrigan guy is completely insulting. Just, it's really bizarre. Like, why would you write this? This is just makes the company, because it makes it look like it's someone from the company. It makes them look terrible. So Robert Zielinski has said, the SEC might be interested in your story as well. This should not have been allowed to happen on a platform that prides itself on vetting only the highest quality projects. Even with the understandable delays and frustrations of the pandemic shutdown, there are simply too many red flags in Mr. Tallarico's descriptions of the project and their progress, especially when looking back in hindsight. And of course, John has to chime in. Contradiction, Republic should not have held this raise. 2, especially when looking back in hindsight. Pray tell, what were any and all the red flags in the subscription agreement or the comment page on Republic you are referring to? This guy really likes to play the weird argument here. Like, oh, it's perfectly okay for the company to lie and use these people who did have experience and who would help the project. That's okay. Just because, John doesn't know who Kara Akar or who's the other person, Jay Allard, the bigger person, like Jay Allard. Oh, just because he doesn't know who the guy who helped find Xbox Live and all the other stuff, means that doesn't mean that other people weren't swayed or convinced. Oh, they have legit help. They have someone with a good track record. Maybe I will invest. Like, he doesn't think that's other people would think that way. So Ashley had responded to John, thanks for the reply. Unfortunately, I have no interest in corresponding to a clearly mentally unwell individual who, after seeing the history of this company and business conduct, probably has links to the executives working there. Or maybe after a quick Google search, you're the same John Corrigan from Shakopee, who has a criminal record for stalking, which would make sense considering your conduct here. Either way, your behavior isn't a very good look for this company, and more importantly, yourself. Regards. Well, that made John look like a complete moron. Good job, Ashley. So Janet had wrote, Phil, thank you. Wishing you the best of luck in getting units out successfully to a limited number in the near term, and hopefully a much wider audience down the road. This is a good next step. Happy holidays. And Janet was a $1,000 investor. Well, that was 2 months ago, and he's still trying to find a plan to how to produce these units. So not looking good there. Dawn had wrote, I made my investment in September 2021, and release date was supposed to be in October 2021. It's only been a year. A very bad year at that, with shortages in chips, supples, I guess he means supplies, and time. A year to wait is nothing. Most investments take 5 to 10 to come to light. All my investments are on lock. You can't just demand your money back because you're hurting for money. That's why they say don't use any money you're not willing to lose. So let's just keep us better updated so we don't feel like we're not aware of what's going on. Thanks to all for taking the time to hear what I have to say. Let's all stay strong so we can all make some money. Well, Don seems like a nice person. Hey, at least they have a good attitude. Unfortunately, Don is probably someone who's not aware of exactly what the real situation is with Intellivision. Maybe if Intellivision was transparent and would update these investors and saying, well, we have absolutely no money to actually go to market, and we don't even have a completed project, so we're not even done development. I think people like Don would have possibly a different opinion on where the current situation is with the company. So just because she's misinformed, and that's the sad part. It's just if they were actually transparent, well, if they were transparent, I'm guessing a whole lot more investors would be writing, what the hell did you guys do? you spent $200,000 on office chairs and desk and cabinets, and you don't even have a finished project to put out and market. I think a lot of people would be really angry if they knew what truly happened. And this is where I think at some point maybe something's gonna happen. Like, it's so rare that a project that's raised this much money that people just forgive. Somebody out of all these investors is gonna round up the others and do something, because this was it's one thing to invest in losing money on a risk, which Don had mentioned here, and that's understandable. But when it's flat out lies and a lot of deception, and this is where the courts will determine, is this fraud or not? Because most people, the general public, would say a whole lot of fraud, and a lot of this information is only coming out just recently, especially after the H bomber video, and I guess the Start Engine thing. Lot more things were coming to light. So at the time, and when these people invested, nobody knew any of this stuff. So we'll see what happens. I'll be very surprised if nobody goes after either Tommy or the Intellivision people for some form of fraud, because they really did mislead where they were. Like, Phil talks on Twitter saying, "Oh, we have to figure out how to do a line of production." Meanwhile, these people are fed that everything was all settled, just need to have the gasoline on the fuel to set this to the moon. That it was represented that this project was completed, back end, front end, hardware, and ready to go. They just need money for production. So I'll be really curious. Anyways, Luke Hughes says, it appears that a YouTuber going by the name DJC Game Studios, who is a Republic investor, will soon be receiving an Amico unit. After looking at a few more of his videos, he seems to be in contact with Intellivision. Phil Adam is named specifically multiple times, and receives insider information on a regular basis. Why has this investor been receiving information directly when the rest of us have been and are continuing to be left in the dark for so long? And not only that, why is this individual now receiving an Amico unit? What is it about this individual or this person that qualifies him to have access to all of this, but none the rest of us? And exactly, this is where it just gets ridiculous. Like, so just some random guy with a YouTube channel is that. Wait till the people find out, if they find out ever, which they won't, because of course they're not going to write this down. That our tester is DJC Game Studios. This is the guy who's verifying that the hardware works and everything. Some random guy on YouTube, and if they actually looked at his YouTube channel and all the of who he is, this isn't a tech YouTuber. It'd make a difference if the guy had a channel where he primarily takes apart tech and tests different, hardware, software. No, this is just a guy who makes hilariously bad rap songs, and he's not qualified at all to do this. So I love to know what these people who invested $1,000 or $5,000 or $6,000 would think, knowing that, this is their quality, their QA is DJC Studios. It just is so bad. So Harbinger says, "Hi Phil, I have messaged once before and had no reply about cashing in my shares. Can you please refund my back? Can you please refund my £1,000 invested in Amico?" I think he wants his £1,000 returned to him. And John says, "Well, he did say please." Ooh, how condescending, John. Niraj says, "I remember also reading that we were supposed to get royalties in hardware, software, and sales. How does that work? How will we see that profit?" And John responds, "Your memory must be incredibly selective." Ooh. John seems very mean to people. Greg says, "Hey, Phil Ayal. I am certain many people here feel like we have been scammed. At the very least, at the worst, defrauded of our investment monies. I am today, 9/20/2022, requesting a full refund of my $2,000 investment from April 8th of 2021. Please let me know who to speak or how to contact the financial department about this concerning issue. Thank you, completely dissatisfied investor." And John responds again, "You feel like you've been scammed or defrauded, so you politely ask for a full refund? That is logical behavior." Sarcasm, I presume you couldn't tell. So I thought you guys might find those comments interesting. It is really bizarre behavior. I don't know if this John Corrigan guy is someone in the company, because Tommy, Well, I did originally think it was him because Tommy would respond to people and lash out to people on the internet, and it could still be Tommy trying to act tough under a different name. My only doubt of it not being Tommy is that the English is decent in his comments, while Tommy usually mishmash a bunch of words together, and he wasn't really fluent, I guess is the word I'm trying to say. So I have doubt. It might be like someone crazy like the Relic Gamer, but I don't know if he's still involved at all. Either way, I don't think this is just some random investor because he's taking all this personal and being really rude. And you would think that someone at Intellivision would have these comments deleted because it really makes them look bad. It makes it look like it's someone from inside the company lashing out. Either way, that's all I have for the video today. Hopefully, I mostly just wanted to get that funny blue shirt thing into a video and then add the others just because I thought it was interesting. So I don't have any other videos anytime soon, but when we do hear more stuff, I'll let you guys know. So until the next one, have a good one.